Hello everyone, welcome back to Virtual Lab Infra once again in my ongoing VMware Hypervisor training series. I hope you all are doing great and learning new things. So today's agenda is our how to create virtual machines in Hypervisor ESXi. So first of all, let's understand the lab structure. So in my previous session, I have covered how to download and install ESXi host 01, which is available with this IP address 192.168.1.100. Also, we had seen how this IP address was assigned from our domain controller server, which is also my DHCP and DNS server. So we have installed ADDS, DNS, DHCP roles and made this server as a domain controller. With help of this server, we are communicating with our hypervisor, which is our first host. Later on, we will create one more host and we will, create vCenter and we'll manage all the hosts from vCenter console itself. So look at the lab structure, guys. So my primary domain controller, I had provided static IP and made this server as a DHCP, which is now responsible to assign all the IP address to domain joint computers or servers. We had installed this hypervisor and we our hypervisor has automatically assigned 192.168.1.100 IP automatically from DHCP pool. Now if you type this IP address on browser, so one more thing, guys. So now as you can see, I am going to browse this hypervisor on my laptop, not in join server, just because I have assigned the static IP to my laptop now, which is helping me to access. So I have assigned this a static IP. I have given same series of IP and given the same gateway and primary domain controller IP, so that this will help me for DNS resolution. So now I'm going to access my hypervisor host 01 with this IP on my laptop itself. So we are going to create a first virtual machine on this ESXi host, and we will discuss the most common and most important features. We'll explore all the important features after creating a virtual machine. Also, we'll discuss what are the provisioning storage available and what are the type available and why what type and how we need to use it on organizational standard. So let's get started. So we had created root account. I'm going to log in with this account. So as you can see, I have logged in with my dynamic IP 192.168.1.100. Since this IP was assigned from my domain controller, now it is able to able to fetch all the details like gateway, your DNS server IP, default gateway. So all these informations are uh, coming from my primary domain controller automatically. So before creating virtual machines, let's quickly look at here. To make any customization on your ESXi host, like changing the host name, assigning the DNS server, or making any changes, just go to your hypervisor console. And as you can see in the bottom, F, it is asking to press F2 key to customize systems or view logs. Press F12 to shut down or restart your ESXi host. So I'm gonna press F2 key. The moment you press F2 key, it is asking you to confirm your root account and password. So now it has taken me to the system customization screen where it has option to configure password. You can change the password. You can reset your password. You can configure networks. So if you hit enter, here you can assign the VLANs. So in organization or standard, you will have the VLAN details from networking team. So you can assign the VLAN IDs or whatever VLAN like VLAN 100, 112 or VLAN 130 or whatever VLAN your organization using, you can use the VLANs. In our case, we have received this IP from DHCP pool. So it is automatically assigned, but you can also provide a static IP, guys. So you by changing this disable IP before configure for management network and use dynamic. You can set a static IP as well. Press escape to come out from this page. IPv6, we don't use IPv6. DNS configuration, hit enter. So obtain DNS server and host name automatically. So since we are managing manually everything, so I'm using this DNS server address and host name. However, the DNS server has automatically get the IP just because of DHCP. But still, you can give alternate DNS IP if you have multiple DNS servers or domain controllers. You can give that IP. Host name I had given ESXi host. Now, since this IP, as I said, it is automatically assigned from domain controller and which is DNS server. So the moment you give host name, any host name, ESXi-host01, it automatically takes the domain name along with it. That is where you are able to see here. With name, it is showing virtuallabinfra.com. We are using ESXi, the latest version, guys, which is 8. So we are going to manage everything on latest version itself. So our host is latest version, and we are going to use on the upcoming session vCenter also 8. So make sure whenever you are having, we are going to manage everything on vCenter, your ESXi and vCenter version should match to each other. So if you are using ESXi 8 and vCenter is 7, it won't work properly. There will be an issue. So always use the same version to manage your hosts via vCenter server. Along with that, let's press escape. You can use customize suffix. So in our case, it is virtuallabinfra.com. So I'm using that. Escape. Press escape. You can restart your network. Sometime if your network connectivity has some issue or maybe port go change or something like that, you can test your management network. Restart your management network. In test management network, you can hit enter and you can ping the IP if you want by hitting enter. So it will start pinging. So basically, it is going to ping your IP which is provided on the ESXi host. So it will give you the details whether it is able to ping or not. However, it's not able to ping the gateway, but it's able to ping the DNS server, which is more than enough. Because gateway we are not using any proper networking here, so it's all we have given private IPs. So that's why like you can test your network connectivity here. So hit enter. Network restore option, we haven't given anything. Configure keyword, no. Troubleshooting options. Here you can enable your SSH, which is our secure cell. Once you enable the secure cell option, then only with help of any third-party applications you will able to access this console. So let's say your hypervisor installed on any hardware server. It could be a Dell server, Dell PowerEdge or HP ProLient servers, and you cannot go to hub room every day and you cannot do all this restart setting a network. So you will do it through console. So secure cell is very important when it comes to troubleshooting part. So this is the option. You can hit enter and can you enable or disable this option actually. So now it is enabled. You can press escape, escape. That's all. Now let's go back to the ESXi host console. So we are using latest version of ESXi host. We had provided around eight. So we had provided around two CPU. I mean four CPUs, and we have assigned around 6 GB of RAM. We have enough storage, guys. Like we have provided around 450 GB of storage. So, so to create a virtual machine, first virtual machine, you have to come here and create. So before that, let's see a few more things. So manage. If you go to manage and security and users, here is the option to make establish the connection between your domain controller and your hypervisor. Sorry, ESXi host. So here you have to. There will be an option called add domain. You'll have to click add domain. You will have to give your domain name virtuallabinfra.com, and you have to give your on-premise domain account. So in our case, it's an administrator and the password. Once you give the details and click on join, it will give this information. So I don't want to break this connectivity, so let it be. Services, you can start and stop the services, the required VMware services. License, you can, if your company owning the license servers, from there you can apply the license. So now you can see it is showing not secure, and the certificate is showing it's uh, not valid, not secure. So you can assign the license from here. Hardware, you can see the hardware informations like power management. In monitor tab, you can see your CPU, RAM, your storage, all this utilization details. You can get the log details. You can generate a support bundle. Support bundle is nothing but it will generate a log file. If you face any issue in hypervisor level or uh, any corruption or any issue, you can generate the support bundle and you can go through the log files. So virtual machine tab, it is the option where you will where it will allow you to create a virtual machines. Once your virtual machines are available, you can take a console of it. Console in the sense like you can log in through the browser itself, power and power off, suspend, restart. In action tab, you'll get more options. Once we create a first virtual machine, we'll show you these options. Okay, so a storage, you can create a lot uh, as per your requirement. You can create multiple data stores. Data store is nothing but where your VM files. Once you create your virtual machines, its core files will be located there. You can upload ISO image. So why you need to upload ISO image? Because you to create a virtual machine, you can keep your ISO image under data store. From there, you will pick the OS image and you will create a virtual machine. So that's how we can manage. You can create a data store by clicking on new data store. There are several options. You can create new BMF data store, which is the fresh data store. You, if you have already data store and you want to extend it, you can click and add and extend existing BM data store. If you have BMS data store, you can exist BMS store, you can extend. You can mount if you have external storage, you can mount them from mount NFS data store. So networking mostly whenever you create a hypervisor, by default you will see these options: BM network and management network. This management network is same thing as we have seen in hypervisor, and BM networks is the network where your virtual network will created and your virtual machines or uh, any new VM you create it assign the IP and NIC it will be assigned automatically to the virtual machines. So without wasting time, guys, let's get started with creating a new first virtual machines. So before that, let me show you one more thing. So in a storage, if you go to this is the data store I have created. You can give it any name. And if you go to data store browser, here I have created a folder called ISO, and I have uploaded the two ISO image. One is CentOS 7, which is my Linux operating system, and one Windows Server 2019 ISO image I have updated. So with help of this ISO image, we can uh, register the first virtual machine. So let's go and create one virtual machine. So click on create register VM. So uh, there are three options. Create a new virtual machines, deploy a virtual machine from OVF or OVA file, or register an existing virtual machine. So what is deploy a virtual machine from OVF? So deploy a virtual machine from OVF or OVA file is nothing but you already have a virtual machine and you have exported as a OVA and OVF. So once you create a virtual machine or if you already have a virtual machine, if you right click, there is an option to export as a data. So like your image will be exported and that will be on OVF and OVF file format. So if you have already exported a VM uh, already, you can select this option and import that file. So if you click on next, it will ask you to give a name and it will ask you to select that file and create a virtual machine. However, whatever ISO image you have exported, same configuration VM will be created here. You can make that changes later, but however, we are going to create a fresh virtual machine, not the OVF and OVA. Register existing virtual machine is similar to OVF and OVA, but here it will be a normal virtual machines configuration files. So let's get started with first new virtual machines. Give it a name. So the first virtual machine will keep. So I'm going to create a server 2019 machine. So let's give a name. TW is nothing but test Windows. T Win test Windows SRV hyphen BM01. So you can give any name. So make sure your compatibility should be always your ESXi host version. Guest OS I'm going to use Windows operating system, and this is my 19 server, so I'm gonna select 19. Keep that default settings. Now it is asking to which data store you want to select. So in our case only we have one data store. So if you have multiple data store, you can decide the virtual machine uh, where you want to store the virtual machine in which data store. So select it. I'm gonna allocate two CPU, 2 GB of RAM. So I'm gonna give 2096 MB. You can select in MB or GB, anything is fine. Hard disk I'm gonna give 60, which is more than 50. I will give 50 GB, which is more than enough. Keep these options default. Network adapter, as I said, uh, networking your virtual network will get created automatically. To allocate the ISO image, select CD DVD, expand the CD DVD drive on, select data store ISO file. Now it will take you to the data store where you have kept your ISO images. So in our case, it is under ISO. So I'm gonna select server 2019 ISO image and click on select. So one more thing to check here, in hard disk, if you expand it, it is a very important step, guys. So disk provisioning, there are three type of disk provisioning. Disk provisioning in the sense like what kind of a storage you are going to assign. So thin provision, thick provision, lazy zero, thick provision, early zero. Sorry, eagerly zeroed. So thin provisioning is something, the moment you allocate 50 GB of a storage, it will, however, it will assign 50 GB of a storage to this virtual machine, but it is going to only allocate the required space. So let's say if you are using 10 GB of a space right now, though you have 50 GB storage allocated, it will only use 10 GB of space. So 40 GB of a space will be saved and it will be used for other purposes. So thin provision is most used on lab purposes, like we have resource crunch. So we don't want to waste our storage, so we can use thin provision. Thick provision, the moment you assign 50 GB, it will consider 50 GB altogether, and it will, whatever you space use, whether it is 1 GB also, but 50 GB will be allocated if you select thick provision. If you select thick provision, eagerly zeroed, this is like advanced storage, guys. When you create this for clustering purposes, then in organization they use thick provision. So in the simple word, thin provision, you assign 100 GB, it may initially use only 10 to 15 GB, and remaining GB will be free up. As long you uh, keep growing your data, it will take get added one by one. So let's say if you are using 10 GB, after 2 days you are using 20 GB. So from 50 GB, it will keep growing the data. So it will only use whatever the amount of data that is going to use in virtual machine. Rest of the space it will be not in use. So that's how you can save a storage. Thick provision, it's a full disk space allocated immediately. The moment you select 50 GB, it will allocate complete storage immediately. And thick provision eagerly, it is full disk allocated plus uh, required for advanced features like clustering, as I said. So we are going to use thin provision. Click next. Just review your details and then click on finish. So our first virtual machine is created. Now we will install the operating system. Click on play button, and whatever the activity you will be doing, you can see the recent task here. So the moment it comes, you have to press a space key so that your OS will get loaded, will start loading. So here after it's all same, guys, like how you install the operating systems, how you log in, how you create a local account, and everything will be same. So once this OS is installed, I will resume the video. So just for now, you can see the OS installation has been begin. So once this completed, I will resume the video again. Now the VM is ready. I'm just going to create a local account. So once this VM is created and you just open by clicking the play button, so you can see it has few features like open this VM in console, open this console in new window. If you want to open this in new tab, you can click on new tab. You can reset the resolution if you have changed any resolution. Power option, you can power off, you can suspend. So guest OS, this is to install the VMware tool. So this is VMware tool, same as we used to install it here. Install VMware tool. So VMware tool, nothing but it's a driver. All the required driver will get installed when you install the VMware tool, like your network, uh, network drivers, your uh, the display driver, all the important drivers. You can click on here to maximize the screen. You can click here to. These are the few features are there. Like without taking RDP, you can from console you can manage a lot of things. So let's refresh this. So this is giving you a notification to install the VMware tool. So once the VM is created, as I said, this option you can see. You can whenever you want, you can edit the settings. You can upgrade the memory CPU. Since the virtual machine is on, it is grayed out. Once you stop it and you can able to make the changes. Can add network adapters. You can change the VM name. You can change the uh, storage or SCSI. So this configuration you can make it here. So the VM is up now. So let's show you one more thing. So you can click on this console, open the console in new tab. So it will open in new tab. If you click on the console and click on open the console in new window, sorry, open the browser console, it will open like this. If you click on conch, it will open in VMware workstation, which we don't want. So we want to manage everything from here. So let's quickly log in and uh, see how we can manage our first VM. So as you can see, we don't have option to click on Control Alt Delete to get the login page. So you have to come here in Guest OS, send key, and Control Alt Delete. So this is our local account. Still, we haven't joined to our domain. So log in with local account password. So if you are new to this video and just want to let you know, in domain controller we had already created all the necessary roles. In my Windows Server training series, we have created group policies training video, and there I have applied certain policies. So once we join the domain, we will use that. Those group policy will be applied. So just let me show you. So before that, let me open the DHCP and DNS. So any older entries I want to delete actually. So let me. So these are my old entries. So I'm not going to keep this as, so I think this is the IP. So let's quickly check. Win KRP3CS MGR. Okay. So as you can see, this BM has got the IP from my DSCP pool 3MGR. So I'm just deleting the other old entries. So I'm gonna keep the same host name. So test Windows Server BM01. So T Windows Server hyphen BM01. Oh, sorry. Click on change. Here we need to give the host name, and I'm going to join the domain virtual lab infra.com. So if you look at here in my domain controller, I had created already a domain account actually. So once this machine domain joined, I will use this account login and making any changes. So this is the OU, like if you go and watch my Windows series training. So this is the OU I have created, and under India we have groups, member servers, offices. Under offices, if you go, I have a admin users, which is VMware admin, and I have made this admin account as a domain admin. So domain admin security group is a powerful privileged account or security group which is assigned to my this account. So I will able to make any changes if I want. So once this VM is ready, okay, let's. I'm going to use this same account as it is a domain admin account. Click OK. So make sure sometime if your IPv6 is enabled, it will not work. So let's. So I'm gonna disable the IPv6. So make sure your IPv6 option is disabled, and sometime if your firewall is not disabled, it won't work. So let's try with this first. And let's quickly change the host name again and click on change. So TW server hyphen BM01 domain virtual lab infra.com. So now this VM is domain join. Restart now. So once this domain join done, we should be able to see which is reflecting now. So I'm keeping all this. One second. So I'm keeping all the domain join servers under member server. So I'm gonna keep it here so that any policy which I have applied earlier, it will apply to my member server also. So let me delete the other servers which I'm my old entries. Okay, so this is my first VM, which is hosted in ESXi now. Guest OS and key control Alt delete. See, once the domain join is done, I'm able to see my domain name. I'm going to log in with my domain account. So as you can see, though the BM is created, but you are not seeing the proper alignment. So we'll have to install the VMware tool. So it's very small thing. Go to Guest OS, install VMware tool. So this is the setup file. Open. So this wallpaper we have applied via group policy. So if you go through my Windows Server training series, so recently I have created a session for group policy from where this wallpaper is getting applied. So our first BM is created successfully, and we are able to, join the domain with our domain controller. So in this session, we have learned how to create virtual machine in VMware ESXi and understood all the key configuration options, especially disk provisioning types and like thin and thick, when we need to use thin and when we have to use thick. Finish, not needed. So that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series and you're able to understand. So if you really uh, feel this session and training sessions are helpful, I would request you to like my videos, do subscribe and share with your friends and colleagues. If you have any kind of doubt or if you doing lab and you need any kind of support, don't hesitate to reach me out. I will definitely help you. For now, thank you and we'll meet you in the next session. Have a great day. Bye bye.